What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome. This is a unique, fun. We're just here to have fun today. We're doing a unique stream. My friend Shannon is here to help me today. She likes murder.
I do like murder.
She's into murder. So I saw a cool opportunity come up. I like sports cards. And there's recently, it's been noticed that there's a sports card that was made in 1990 from a guy named Mark Jackson. Let me show you this guy's card real quick. His name is Mark Jackson, and on the left side there, in the front row, you can see the Menendez brothers. So, being that Shanna likes murder, and I like sports cards, we figured we would open this box, which there's a slight chance there might not even be one in there. But we'd open it up, and we'd talk murder.
Oh yeah, we'll talk some murder. I'm not as familiar with the Menendez brother case as probably somebody that's watching this. So just know that you can.
We're
correct
amateurs.
Me. We are amateurs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to briefly go over the story and talk about some of the facts. And there's a couple of interesting things that happened, so we'll talk about that. And hopefully we find a card.
And we're gonna find the card. And we each have a nice drink. I have a Guinness.
And I've got some vodka.
So let's do this, guys.
Indeed.
And we're feeling festive. We're getting ready for a holiday party, so we're just wearing some stuff, you know. So hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. We got 43 people watching.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Saturday night.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. I know it's a nice sweater. I'm all warm.
So when Luke first sent me an image of this card, I think it was like a week or so ago, somebody obviously had discovered it, and so he sent it to me, and we were talking about it. And I think you looked it up, and the value of the card at the time was like $8.
It was like anywhere from $2 to $6, $8. Okay. And I heard about it like maybe 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty new. Like, people haven't really heard about this card yet. It's a fairly new discovery. And since then, it went from like $2 to $8 up to about $25 for just the card. The box, $10. The whole box was only $10, guys. This really is just a garbage box. Like, anybody in their right mind that collects cards would throw this away or give it to a kid for fun. But since a recent activity, and I think the Menendez brothers, aren't they like in the news right now? Are they in the news? Is there anything going on with them? No?
No, I mean, they're in prison, and
they'll
be in prison for life.
So we'll go over the story. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I got my tablet here with like you chat, so we can talk. But yeah, there's 36 packs. I believe there's 36 packs and like 12 cards per pack. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, 36 packs, 15 cards per pack. There's really nothing in here exciting. So we're just looking for those cards. You know, there'll be some Michael Jordan cards, things like that. So we'll have some fun. But let's just set this up so where we can check out some cards, and we'll talk murder. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Shanna will kind of go over the history.
Yeah.
Like maybe tell me.
I'll just start.
Yeah, go for it.
So on August 20th of 1989, at about 11:45 or so, Lyle called the police, the Beverly Hills police, to say that his parents had been killed, had been murdered. And so that started that his father had been shot, and that his mother also had been shot, but had been shot away from him. And so then that started the investigation. The police pretty well automatically suspected the two boys, the brothers, Eric and Lyle, but they didn't really have any leads as far as the investigation went. So the investigation lasted until March of the following year, so March of 1990, and this is kind of interesting because we're talking about a set of cards that came out in This is the 90.
This was between 90 and 91. So it came out probably in 91. So the pictures were all taken the year of probably 90, 91.
Right. And so the defense attorney said that he estimated that the brothers, between the murders in August of 89 to March 1990 when they were caught, when actually Lyle confessed to the murder, and we'll talk about that, but they spent $1 million or so. And that's and part of the history of this card is that with all that spending they were doing extravagant things. And one of the extravagant things they paid for while they were in New York was front row seats. And this was it was the Knicks.
Yeah, it was the Knicks, and yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so how they murdered their parents, Jose, I believe, and Kitty, mom and dad, had been out shark fishing all day. They chartered a boat.
That's the card we're searching for. If anybody's new here, we're looking for the Mark Jackson with them right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shanna.
That's fine. So they had been out shark fishing, and so they were really, really tired when they got home. As it goes, they must have fallen asleep together in like the family room or the den, watching TV. And the brothers, at about 10 p.m., it's estimated, that's when neighbors were hearing what they thought were fireworks, the sound of fireworks, but turns out later that it was the sound of shotgun. The brothers came into the house at about 10 p.m. With a 12-gauge shotgun and immediately shot their father in the back of the head. And that woke up Mom, who then started running. And I wanted to ask you, Luke, because I don't understand guns as much as you do. Tell me why somebody would use like a 12-gauge versus a handgun, or...
Well, 12 gauge basically it shoots like it sprays small pellets. So handgun is one bullet, where a shotgun it's one shell, but it has multiple pellets inside. So hitting something is very easy. It's not as damaging, but if you shoot somebody close range, you're going to hit them with basically 50 to 100 pellets rather than one bullet. And it's very, very damaging up close, that's for sure. It could just be they're very easy to get. Shotguns, you can get them at Big Five, which I believe that's where they got theirs, right? Mm-hmm. They buy at the Big Five Sporting Goods.
So not only is it easy to access, but if I don't really know how to shoot, as long as I use it close enough range, I'm going to injure something.
You're going to hit. Yeah, you're going to hit for sure.
Okay. So shooting their father in the back of the head, that would be interesting. I'm sure that there are people on this thread that have looked up the autopsy photos, because I believe they are available. And by the way, lots of the information I got from Murderpedia. If you're interested, it lists... It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal website. So if you have curiosities about other murders, I would recommend going there. That's a side note. So we're back to where they shoot Dad in the back of the head.
We did get a Michael Jordan card.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Big deal, guys. This is worth like $1. Everybody, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's probably the biggest card in the set. $1. Until now, Mark Jackson. Sorry, Shanna.
That's okay.
You got a big deal. You gotta
no,
let the people know.
Is somebody asking some
We got some
questions?
MJ. Yeah, we got some stuff flying in here. It looks like they're chatting along with each other mostly. We got a good group of people.
Like I said, I know there's definitely people on this chat and watching this thread that know a lot more about the Menendez brothers. Okay, but I'm gonna go back to Dad's shot in the back of the head. That wakes Mom up. She goes to run away, and they shoot her in the leg, which breaks her bone, and she falls, like breaks her leg, and she's slip sliding around in her own blood, and that's the crime scene. But they walk over and shoot her a few more times with the shotgun, once in the arm, in the abdomen, or like the side area, and then also in the head.
Damn.
So seems like they went after Mom.
They went after Mom pretty rough, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And so I guess basically, they murder their parents, they spend a lot of money, and then Lyle goes to a psychotherapist. Oh, and speaking of psychotherapists, I read on Murderpedia that Kitty had told her psychotherapist a little while before the murders happened, that she believed that her sons were sociopaths, were potentially sociopaths. So mom had a sense that something was sort of going.
So mom knew they were a little.
Yeah, there was something off with the boys.
Like, I don't know how many people out there, parents, ever question their sociopathedness, but that's pretty wild. I don't think mine ever did that.
Well, you don't
Oh,
know.
Michael Blackman. Oh, Michael Blackman, $4.99. Thank you so much, dude. That's real sweet. Appreciate that. I got a donation, Shanna.
That's nice.
$4.99. I'll split it with you.
Okay, good. Okay, so back to the psychotherapist. So Lyle is seeing his therapist, and he confesses to the murders to his psychotherapist. And if anybody on here is a mental health professional, you know that we're bound by confidentiality regulations depending on where we're practicing. But pretty well, universally, we can't talk about what happens in therapy. Now, there are some provisions for that. If somebody's admitting that they have committed a crime or intend to commit a crime where they would harm someone else, if they're abusing a kid or someone else, we would have to report that. The other thing that we can report, though, is that if somebody is threatening our lives. So for that particular therapist, the way they got around reporting to the police that he had made that confession and it being admissible was saying that Lyle had threatened his life after he confessed.
So that makes it okay. Now, did he threaten his life?
He threatened the therapist, yeah.
Oh, the therapist, okay.
Yeah.
So that makes it legal. I thought you
yeah.
meant he threatened his own life.
So he tells the therapist, confesses the murders, and then threatens the therapist with his life of, like, if you tell anybody,
Gotcha.
I'll murder you. And clearly, he's going to murder people. So the trial, the highlights of the trial, really, there were a couple of trials because the first one was deadlocked. The jury was deadlocked. But during the first trial, I don't know, Luke, do you wonder why somebody would kill their parents?
Yeah, big time. But, we did watch, the only thing I really know about the trial is we watched a little bit earlier today, and it was like 17 or 27 years later. They interviewed, I think it was 17 years later they interviewed him. And yeah, a lot of stuff I didn't know. A lot of stuff. Kind of a crazy story, but they switched it on him. Whoa, Matthew G with $5. Appreciate it, Matthew. That's very, very, very kind of you. Appreciate that. Me and Shannon will buy a bottle of vodka with our $10. With our $10. But yeah, they switched it because the defense kind of had one idea. Whoa, Audrey Jennings with $20.
Wow.
That's a bomb ass $20. Thank you, Audrey. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. But yeah, they switched it. Defense kind of was going one way with them, kind of just explaining how they were just kind of overly entitled, spoiled brats more than anything.
Yeah.
And then they switched it. They switched it hard.
Well, they switched it by testimony during the first trial of both brothers. First, I believe Eric, but I could have them switch, so don't hold me to it. But essentially, they talked about the reasons why, or well, they didn't say this is the reason why I murdered my parents, but it essentially was, this is the reason I murdered my parents. It's dad had been sexually molesting them since they were children. And when Lyle, who's the oldest, was sexually molested by his father, he talked about sodomy. He talked about other things that you can look up if you want. There's sex abuse. And then in turn, there's this compelling confession in the courtroom where he talks about how after that he turned around and would take his brother outside, and he would
into the woods,
and he would molest his brother. And you can watch parts of that testimony. It was the first trial, and some people are like, oh, this is just the excuse they use for murdering their parents. But any one of us that has ever worked with victims, which I have, and
it's not me.
Yeah, it's not him. I'm a therapist by training. So he, the confessions, that it it's too real to not be real. When you watch it, you can see the shame and the guilt, and you'd have to be fairly compelling to know how to have that conversation and how to talk about it where it wasn't theatrical. So I genuinely believe that was probably happening. Now,
yeah, it was very odd.
It doesn't excuse the fact that they murdered their parents. It's just, I genuinely.
It added a different level of oddness to the whole case, which made, probably the reason why it was hung the first time.
So then they go on to have trials after that, and during those second trials, the first was televised. The second were not, for the most part, and they didn't testify, so that testimony about the abuse wasn't brought out in the second trial. So nevertheless, they were both sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole for murder, and then there was another charge tacked onto that, which was conspiracy to commit murder. So they've been in California corrections since that. They've moved around a little bit, and let's see, Lyle married a longtime pen pal.
That's odd.
Yeah, and she was, I don't remember her name, but she was Leslie? No.
Leslie Abramson?
No, that's a newscaster.
Oh, Michael just mentioned that name, so I threw it out.
No, she's a newscaster.
I'm just throwing names out. I don't know anything about this story. No, I know about these cards, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's not a newscaster. She's an attorney. I apologize.
I know MJ.
She was their attorney. So first-degree murder. Lyle married a longtime pen pal, Anna Erickson, who was a former model. The marriage lasted about a year, but then she divorced him because she accused him of cheating on her by writing another woman. So that ended.
That was cheating from writing another woman?
Well, I mean, if your relationship is only writing, like,
man,
the only thing you do with your
fucked right now.
Wife was I
do a lot of child support or something. I don't have any kids, but you know what I'm saying.
No, because the only way you have a relationship in prison is you're writing somebody. So if you're writing someone else, it's like a big deal.
Look at that bad boy, Tim Hardaway. I remember that being one of my favorite. I had so many Tim Hardaway rookie cards. I'm setting aside a few that I like. There's no money here. Little Sean Kemp rookie. Yeah. A couple Michael Jordans pulled. We're still looking for the big bad boy though, guys. We're looking for this one. This is our search. The Mark Jackson with the Menendez Brothers.
So sorry, back to Lyle. He married, divorced that woman, and then he got remarried. To a lady named Rebecca Sneed, who was a magazine editor. And they'd known each other for 10 years prior to the engagement, so they'd probably been writing or who knows. Yeah. Eric was married in 1997 at Folsom State Prison. And
are they in the same prison?
They had been separated for a while, I know, at least. I'm not sure. Let me just.
Oh, we got it!
We did. That's awesome. All
there we go, folks. The search.
My dogs are even happy about it.
Look at them bastards.
Wow.
We got one.
That's awesome.
Bingo.
So you can see them just right.
Yep, they're just chilling front row, just like,
out,
you know.
Yeah,
we just killed our parents. No big deal.
Cool, you know.
Just chilling out.
Yeah. Don't look at us.
Yeah, no big deal. I'm wearing a hat, so you can't tell it's me.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to say, like, again, like, when it comes to like murders, and there might be I consider myself a murderino, and that's a whole other conversation. There might be people on here that are like me. It's not that we endorse murder. We don't at all. It's just that we find it fascinating why somebody would murder, who they murder, how they do it, and there's a lot of theories as into why we're interested in it. But
yeah, why are you interested in it?
Well, I mean,
Super creepy.
it's not that creepy.
I'm just kidding.
It is, they talk about why women are more into true crime with murders, and it's because we're most likely the ones that are victimized with murder, and so we're sort of like learning everything we can about it, maybe, so that we can prevent it happening to ourselves, like,
or be able to do it first.
Right, exactly.
Like, you'll be better at murdering. Like, if I fell asleep and you decided, I'm going to murder this guy,
I would know how to do it.
You would properly know how to murder me.
And chances are, I would either stab you, which is the #1 way women kill.
Cool.
Murder. Or I would poison you.
Okay.
Because that's how we tend to do it.
I got that going for me.
It's not that we don't use guns, but we tend to do it that way.
I don't believe you own a gun, so I'm good.
I don't own a gun. You are right. But speaking of that, one of the things that we know about when people kill their parents, so I think that's called patricide, is it usually is because of instances of abuse. Even when we're talking about like kids that would kill their terminally ill parent or their not so terminally ill adult parent that they are caretaking for, it's usually there's a motive of money sometimes when that comes to like insurance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these really like personal close-up like Menendez brother murders where you're shooting your father in the back of the head and then brutally murdering your mother, it is because of, typically it's a revenge for abuse. Did you get another Michael Jordan?
I've gotten 3 calls from a scammer in a row.
Oh.
And it's annoying.
That is annoying.
Because that's annoying.
It is. So it does fall in line with like these guys killing their parents. They were abused, and it's interesting because they do a clean shot with the dad,
and then they go after the mom. They really go after the mom. Right. And you were saying that, I mean, that's just, God, this focus sucks. Come on, baby, focus.
Yeah, no, we were talking about how like a lot of times kids that are abused by dad blame mom a lot more, not for the abuse necessarily, that she would allow the abuse to continue. And that she should protect them.
Did she know, though, for sure? That's the other thing. Like,
Who
she
knows?
may not even... Like, okay, let's just say, if I were a dad abusing somebody, I wouldn't be like, hey, guess what I did tonight? I wouldn't tell anybody.
Well,
So she might not have known.
Usually people that do this to kids don't tell people about it unless they know for sure the other person is
cool
also
with
a pedophile.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
from the sound of it, she didn't do any of that kind of stuff.
But kiddos have this idea that, I mean, particularly children grow up with their mom sort of being like, for lack of a better word, their parents are like God because they tend to all their needs. And a lot of times moms have this intuition, right? Like, how does mom know that I need to be fed when I cry?
Right.
Well, she's learned that. And then I learned that mom can anticipate my needs. So if I'm not mature enough, I might, depending on the age that they started having this thought that it was mom that wasn't stopping it, it's mom knows this is happening because mom always knows when something bad's happening.
Yeah, so she has to know.
And she's not doing anything about it. So that could be why there was maybe some rage with the boys. And maybe they thought of their dad more as a threat and they were frightened of him. So they wanted to just kill him right away so that they didn't.
In case he jumped up and
did
was able to defend himself or something like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I believe I remember hearing, like watching a 2020 or something along those lines around that time, where they did talk about being afraid of their father.
Yeah, I think that they mentioned a little bit about that in that thing we watched today about he was very, he had that mentality of you get where you need to go no matter how you have to get there.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you need to stab your parents to get where you need to go for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what they meant. But,
Well, and he was...
It's the way they took it.
Yeah. He was an entertainment executive. That's where he got a lot of his, obviously they were a wealthy family. Their house where the murders happened was in Beverly Hills, I think. Now I have to look up the facts because I don't remember.
I'm loading up on the MJs.
That's good, I guess.
Yeah. Got like 5 Jordans,
That's
guys.
awesome. The house was in Beverly Hills, so they, I don't own a house in Beverly Hills.
You don't?
I don't. I don't have the money for that.
Huh. Kind of weird.
And so I didn't talk about this. Between when they committed the murders and when they called the 911, so about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, they went to Mulholland Drive and disposed of the shotgun.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So they got rid of the shotgun. And then they went...
Boom! We got number 2! We got our second Mark Jackson! Woo! Something so non-exciting, super exciting.
Well, the thing is, like, when was this discovered? This was just recently discovered. Like, obviously, these cards have existed for
ever,
since
and there's
91.
billions. So cards between like 87 and 91, 92, 93, 0 cards have value. Like for baseball, that's when all the good guys were doing steroids. So like Ken Griffey's the only guy that has any value still. He's the only one that didn't ever get caught with steroids. But Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, all the guys that had value back in the day no longer have value because of the threats of steroids. And also they just overproduced cards. They made way too many cards. You could still to this day go to a card shop, even with these cards in the pack, and buy this box for $5 to $10. I bought this box 2 days ago for $10, which I paid twice as much as I wanted to pay. But it's fun. And plus I could put these on eBay for $20 a piece. And
well, so what's interesting about this, obviously, is that somebody recently was looking at probably an old, Mark Jackson card,
yeah, why would you?
I've literally never.
Why would you look at the background and be like, oh, that looks like?
Why would I look at a Mark Jackson card? I know.
Exactly.
I don't know that much about basketball, but I've at least heard of Michael Jordan and Kobe. Like, I've heard of famous basketball players. Mark Johnson doesn't seem to be. Jackson, sorry. See? Doesn't seem to be that.
See?
Famous.
And there actually is a card in here that I haven't been looking for that has Jordan in the picture, and he's wearing the wrong jersey.
Oh.
So that would be a fun one to find. Yeah. I guess before the game, someone stole his jersey, so he wore number 15 or number 12, and he was captured in the picture. And that was the card that was released, but it wasn't his card. It was somebody else. So I haven't been paying attention for that one, but I'll kind of look for that as we... Oh, that's the one right there. Sam Vincent.
Is it really?
So there's the card. There's the one we're talking about.
How in the world?
So if it'll focus... Focus.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Jordan's wearing jersey 12 instead of 23. So that's a cool error card. Not really an error card, just a card that you'll never see Jordan in number 12. Got his jersey stolen for the game. Had to wear another jersey, so 12 was the number. And they put Sam Vincent's card there. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
It is cool.
Pretty good timing.
I'm reading the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you guys are all just chatting about murder and stuff. But somebody was asking, like, did Dahmer torture animals when he was a child? Yes. Most of the time. So there's a difference between, like, people who murder their family. Like, I killed my father because he molested me, like the Menendez brothers did. And then people that we, like, consider, like, serial murderers or serial killers, right? So some of the tendencies some of the predictors for whether or not, well, I guess they're not predictors, but they're commonalities, is we know that there's, for the serial murders, usually there's a head injury sometime when they're young. They do torture animals, or or harm them, kill them. And then they play with fire. So there's that. And then also enuresis, which is essentially bedwetting or wetting their pants.
Okay.
So that's a commonality that a lot of them share. And Dahmer had some of those characteristics. So did Bundy. So did Gacy. So did other serial killers. There's a lot of other serial killers that had that same issue as children. But the Menendez brothers are slightly different because they weren't serial killers. They weren't killing for pleasure. They were killing for revenge, or they had the motive of financial, right?
Okay.
Dahmer killed for pleasure. It was sexually exciting for him to kill the people that he killed and eat them in some instances. Same with Bundy.
Did he have sex with them though?
He had sex with some of his victims, yes.
Well,
yeah.
I hate to say that's good, but at least he.
No, he did.
If he was sexually attracted and didn't have sex with them, that would be weird. I'm just gonna kill you. Thank you, Alex Express for the $2. 11.88.
There are serial killers that don't have sex with their victims. They'll have sex.
They just get off on the kill.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how you could.
A lot of them will take.
Be aroused during killing, anyways, but.
No. They'll take trophies, so like underwear or a piece of hair or a shoe or whatever it is, and they will sometimes use that to masturbate or.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're on the last pack, folks. If you got any questions, if you got any comments, please feel free to put them in chat. Thanks for coming, guys. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's not the normal thing that I do here with the, the opening of cards, talking about murder. But me and Shannon were hanging out tonight, and the opportunity came up, so we thought, why not? I mean, let's have some fun with some other folks.
Right.
We got some of her friends to join in chat, and they might be watching this.
And somebody just asked, I can't read the name because I'm too far away, and I'm 43. If I'm a mental health professional. Yeah, I'm an LCSW, a licensed clinical social worker.
Let's go ahead and turn this around.
And I've worked as
Thanks for the other $2. Do not put me on hold, or I'll arrest you.
I've done therapy, and I work with severe and persistently mentally ill at this point.
That's why I'm here.
Right.
We had a meeting tonight.
And then I'm also I started reading about murder. I mean, the first thing I ever read about murder was the Zodiac Killer. That's what got me into murder. Although I would say I was probably into true crime a little bit before that. But what really got me interested in murder was the Zodiac Killer. And I'm not the only person.
Well, maybe if the Zodiac Killers show up on a baseball card, we'll be doing a stream soon, folks.
Well, maybe if we could figure out who it was. I mean, it's not Ted Cruz.
Another $1?
I know.
What you doing, Alex Express? You're throwing just money. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's do a recap of our big hits, folks.
Let's indeed.
Looks like we got 2 Tim Hardaway rookie cards. Woo! Those are like 50 cents each, guys. I'm telling you. Big money. These are always good to have. Good old Michael Jordans. We got 2 All-Stars. Boom. MJ. GOAT. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got 2 of everything good. Looks like we got 2 of everything, guys. We got 2 of those MJ base cards. Little MJ action. We got 2 Sean Kemps. Malta, thanks for the $2. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. They are behind bars. We got the oddball Jordan. I didn't look for any more, but there's probably more there. Jersey number 12. Very cool. And the big card.
Oh.
We got 2.
Malta gave $2.
Again?
It
Twice?
looks like it. Because look.
Oh, it showed up. Yeah, it's just off.
Just showed up late. Okay.
$2. We love it, Malta. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the one. The Mark Jackson. We got 2 of the Mark Jacksons. One guy today opened a box and got 0. And another buddy of mine opened a box and got 2. Alex, thanks for the other $1. Appreciate it.
I'm glad we got one. I was afraid.
I'm glad we got one too.
I was really afraid we
You
wouldn't.
get one, and I get one.
Thanks.
So we each have a Menendez brother
card.
rookie card, I guess you call it. The Zodiac Killer was never found, Michael said.
That's true. He wasn't. Well, we don't know who he is. There's people that speculate that the Golden State Killer. They're speculating that.
Same dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation about who the Zodiac Killer is. He could be dead for all we know now. But that's why it's so fun. If you're into murder, unsolved murders is the most fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
You got anything else?
No, I
you got anything else exciting? You guys got anything else?
No.
Hey.
Any other questions, really quick?
I think it was a good time. You know what we're gonna do?
Oh yeah, he's gonna kick my ass in Smash Brothers. It's guaranteed.
Just dropped the other day. No big deal. We got it already. Just kidding. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank
you. It was
you.
fun. Alex, thanks again. Let's just keep going. I mean, get like $1 every couple minutes. We'll be rich in no time.
Yes.
Joe Scamby, 420. Thanks, buddy. I love you, man.
But...
You're awesome, dude. You're my favorite. You're my favorite, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to see some festive shit? Look at this. Look at me. I'm all festive. Look at my booty.
It's pretty festive.
I'm looking good. Looking festive as fuck. All right, guys. We're going to go play some Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you guys coming and watching us on a Saturday. It's late for some of you on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's like
a 9:30.
Wow.
That's late.
That's like... I can't comprehend being up at 9:30 at night.
Well, it's because it feels like it's midnight here.
Yeah, sun going down so early. It kills it. It sucks.
Oh man, living on the West Coast.
That would really suck, especially with NFL and all that. Malta, thanks for the $2. Appreciate Alex, thanks for the $1. Appreciate. What did Malta say? The local sheriff came in his doorstep for tax. Hey.
That's funny.
That's cool. Ronaldo! $5. Thanks, Ronaldo. They did a song, Joe. Was it Joe that originally threw that song up there? It was Joe. It's a Luke song. Have you ever heard the Luke song? Luke, Luke,
yeah, I think
Luke,
so.
Luke. They did a Ronaldo song. So me and Ronaldo got a little back and forth going. Thanks, Ronaldo. Appreciate that, dude. Well, hey, guys. We're going to go. We're going to play Smash Brothers. We haven't played it yet. Pretty stoked. I'll watch some people kick each other's ass at it. And now I'm ready to kick some ass at him. So.
Yeah, he's not even going to have to take any effort. It's going to...
Yeah.
I'm going to be
amazing.
I'm going to be the character looking in the corner, like, pointed up and not be able to move. Just like I am in every other game.
Just go like this. You just hit buttons really fast.
That's going to be...
Who can hit them faster?
I can't. Where do I go? That's what's going to happen.
All right, guys. Thanks. Monday, noon, Pacific. $11 from Malta. Thank you. Alex, thanks for the $1. I appreciate it. You rock. Thanks again, you guys. Y'all have a good night and take care of yourselves.
Good night.
Later.